Do you want to feel more confident reading in English? Well, that's exactly what we'll do today because we're going to read a news article together. So by the end of this lesson, you feel a lot more confident reading in English. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started.
First, I'll read the headline. Tesla breaks ground on its futuristic diner with drive-in theater and supercharger. We're talking about Tesla, of course, frequently in the news. Now, Tesla breaks ground. Let's take a look at this. This is when you start a building project. We only use this expression for building projects. What's a building project? It's a project where you build a building. And it makes sense because the first thing you need to do is break the ground. Before you build something, you literally break the ground. So that's where the expression comes from. And this project is to build a diner, which is what we see here, a movie theater, you can see the screens, and the charging stations you can see in the image as well in front of all the Tesla vehicles. Because they're electric, of course, they need charging stations. Futuristic. Futuristic means it's extremely modern, extremely advanced. When you see this diner, you think of the future. You don't think of current diners. You think of, oh, wow, this looks like something from the future. Now, I've used the word diner a few times so far. If you're not sure, in North America, a diner is simply an inexpensive restaurant. So it's a restaurant where you can get a very simple meal, and that meal will not be expensive. Usually it serves soup and sandwiches for lunch, and for dinner, burgers and fries. Very simple food, inexpensive food. Now, maybe when you saw diner, you thought of the word dinner. So don't confuse these because the spelling is different, they have different meanings, and the pronunciation is different. Let's have dinner at the diner. Dinner, diner, dinner, diner. So this futuristic diner, very modern, very advanced diner, with drive-in theater. So theater, this is a movie theater, as you can see the screens here. And a drive-in theater was also a concept in North America. They generally don't exist anymore, but it's where you could go to the movies, but you would watch the movie in your car, and there would be a giant screen outside. So you're in a big field. There's lots of cars, so you're hearing the sound from your car radio and you're watching the screen that's giant outside. Have you ever been to a drive-in theater? Does that concept exist, or did it exist in the past in your country? I don't think it exists in North America, but just like Elon Musk with Tesla, I've heard of other people wanting to start drive-in theaters again. So that's a drive-in theater. Supercharger, that's the name that Elon Musk, that Tesla uses for their charging stations. You use a supercharger to charge your Tesla, to give it energy. Now, don't worry about taking any of these notes because I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF. You can look for the link in the description. Let's continue. Tesla is getting close to opening its first ever entertainment-centric supercharging station. Let's take a look at the grammar here because you might have noticed close to opening. Here, the expression is to be close to and then doing something. We need the verb in ing because to functions as a preposition, to be close to. So we always use the gerund verb after prepositions. For example, I'm close to finishing the project. Remember, to be, I am close to, and then your verb in ing. I'm close to finishing the project. When you're close to something, it means you're about 80%. You're almost done, but not yet. So Tesla is almost ready to open their first ever supercharging station, but not yet. So 80%. Tesla is getting close to opening its first ever entertainment-centric supercharging station. Let's take a look at centric. So notice we have entertainment, centric. When you add centric to a word, it means that word is the main focus of whatever comes next. So what comes next is the supercharging station. Its main focus of this supercharging station will be entertainment. So you go to charge your vehicle, and while you're there, you can watch a movie, you can have a burger, have something to eat. So that is the goal. It's entertainment centric. Here, we need a data centric approach. So we need an approach, and that approach's main focus should be on data. So that's what this is saying by adding centric to data. We need a data-centric approach. So entertainment-centric supercharging station. That's a mouthful, isn't it? A 24-hour diner. By saying 24-hour, it means that it's open all day, all night. So it doesn't close. Often you'll see that a store advertises that they're open 24/7. So that means 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it means they don't even close on Sunday or whatever day of rest is common in your country. So if you see 24/7, it means always, basically. And drive-in theater, we already know what that is, in Los Angeles, that will play famous movie clips on a big screen while drivers wait for their EVs to charge. EV, this stands for electric vehicle. So of course, Teslas are electric, and that's why they have these supercharging stations. But remember, they're entertainment focused. So their goal is to entertain you while you're waiting for your car to charge, so you don't feel like it's wasted time.
Are you enjoying this lesson? If you are, then I want to tell you about the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my premium training program where we study native English speakers from TV, the movies, YouTube, and the news so you can improve your listening skills of fast English, expand your vocabulary with natural expressions, and learn advanced grammar easily. Plus, you'll have me as your personal coach. You can look in the description for the link to learn more, or you can go to my website and click on Finally Fluent Academy. Now let's continue with our lesson.
Tesla applied for building permits for a restaurant and supercharger station at a location in Santa Monica. So building permits, they need these before they break ground. Remember, break ground is used when you start a building project. First, you need the permit and you apply for the permit. Let's talk about apply for and apply to, because students often confuse these. When you apply for, it's to receive something. You apply for a position, apply for a permit. But when you use apply to, it's to the entity that's providing the something. So you apply to the company, to the government. In this example, I use both. I applied to the government for a building permit. So here, this for represents I applied for a building permit. I don't need to repeat that because I have it here. So Tesla applied for building permits. We don't know who he applied to, most likely the government. Tesla applied for building permits for a restaurant and supercharger station at a location in Santa Monica. However, the project stalled for a long time, apparently due to local regulations. Let's take a look at the verb stall. Remember, it was the project stalled in the past simple for a long time. When something stalls, it means it stops making progress. For example, our growth stalled last year, which means we stopped growing. It's another way of just saying, oh, we stopped growing. We were growing, but then our growth stalled. It stopped progressing. Now, apparently, due to local regulations. If this word apparently wasn't there, it would sound like a fact. The growth stalled, the project stalled because of local regulations. Due to is another way of saying because of. Apparently, due to, because of local regulations. But when you add apparently, it adds a level of doubt because you're not 100% it's true. So maybe it's 75% certain. This isn't an exact number, but there's some evidence that is true, but it's not 100%. So this is what they think is the reason why the project stalled, but they're not 100% sure. So that's a good word to have in your vocabulary because it does change the meaning. And a lot of times you might want to say that to let the person know you're not 100% certain. Let's continue. Nevertheless, Tesla still moved forward with a supercharger at the location. So if you move forward with something, it means you do it. You do what you planned to do. So Tesla planned to have the supercharger, the diner, and the movie theater, and he only moved forward with the supercharger. So if your boss sends you a message and says, let's move forward with the proposal, you know that you now have permission to start the proposal. So Tesla still moved forward with a supercharger at the location, but it had to move the diner project to Hollywood. So in this case, move, it means physically move. So to relocate. So Tesla was going to have the diner project in Santa Monica, I think, one area of Los Angeles, but now it's moving that to another location. So this is the physical movement, relocation. Last year, Tesla filed the construction plans with the city. So if you file the plans, it means you've officially submitted the plans. In North America, we use the verb file frequently with government documents. For example, every year you need to file your taxes, which means you officially submit your taxes, but that's the verb we use. So around tax time, someone might ask you, oh, have you filed your taxes yet? It literally means, have you submitted your taxes? But nobody would say that. We would always use the verb file. So we do frequently use this when submitting things to the government. Last year, Tesla filed the construction plans with the city, giving us the first look at what the automaker intends to build. In this case, intend, this is another way of saying plans to build, a more formal way. Let's continue. We learned from the filing. So in this case, they're using it as the noun form. The filing represents all the documents that Tesla included when it filed the construction plan. So all the documents. We learned from the filing that it will be a semicircular 2-story diner. So remember, diner, that's a restaurant. Now, describing it as a 2-story, it means there are 2 levels. So for a house, a building, a restaurant, if there is 1 level, we call that a 1-story. Now, if there are stairs or an elevator, it means there's a second level. So that would be a 2-story house, for example. So this is the image of the circular, which means it's in the shape of a circle, the circular diner. And as you can see, there are 2 stories because there are tables on the roof, which would be a second story. And it makes sense that it's outside because remember, you want to watch the movie as well on these giant screens. And then at ground level, this would be the first story and the second story. So perhaps this image was submitted with the filing. So maybe this image was filed. This is part of the filing. I'm not sure where this image came from, but it looks like this might be what Tesla is planning it will look like. So we have the 2-story diner with 29 supercharger stalls. A stall in this case it's not the same as the verb we learned here. The project stalled, but in this case, supercharger stall, this is a noun and it has a totally different meaning. In this case, a stall is just a space that's used for a specific purpose. So in his project plan, well, let's see. Notice on the left-hand side, we have this beautiful woman. Look below her. There are these areas, these defined areas, and there is the charger, and then there are 2 lines. Well, that area is called a stall. So if you count them, there should be 29 in total. So each one of these defined areas, this space is used for a specific purpose. That is a stall. So with 29 supercharger stalls and, as we saw, 2 movie theater screens. After a year without much activity, Tesla has secured a building permit. So if he secured a building permit, it just means he has successfully gained a building permit. So he now has the permit. I see this a lot for events when they sell tickets and there might be a limited number of tickets and they might say, oh, have you secured your spot? Or your friend might ask you, have you secured your spot? If you've secured your spot, it means that spot is guaranteed for you. And in this case, it might be because you've purchased it, so you have a ticket. But Tesla has secured a building permit because he has the piece of paper that says approved. He has that permit. So he secured a building permit and has broken ground at the site. Remember, broken ground means he's officially started the project and it's only used for building projects. At the moment, this is another way of saying now or right now, right now, either one, now, right now, or now. At the moment, there's no word on when the drive-in movie theater, diner, and charging station will open in West Hollywood. If there's no word on it, it means we don't know. We don't know. It means we have no information. Information is shared with words, right? So if there is no word, it means there are 0 words about that specific topic. So it's just another way of saying we don't know. Here are 2 examples. I haven't heard a word on. So this is slightly different grammar. Instead of no word, I'm saying haven't heard a word. A represents 1. So again, it means 0. I haven't heard a word on the status of my application. You could also say, there's no word on when my package will arrive. So let's say you're waiting for a package, it's delayed, you check your email, you check the tracking, but there's no information. There's no word. There's no word on when my package will arrive. So it's a very useful expression that native speakers use a lot, and we also use this first one a lot as well. At the moment, there's no word on when the drive-in movie theater, diner, and charging station will open in West Hollywood. And that's our article. So what I'll do now is I'll read the article from start to finish, and this time you can focus on my pronunciation. Tesla breaks ground on its futuristic diner with drive-in theater and supercharger. Tesla is getting close to opening its first ever entertainment-centric supercharging station, a 24-hour diner and drive-in theater in Los Angeles that will play famous movie clips on a big screen while drivers wait for their EVs to charge. Tesla applied for building permits for a restaurant and supercharger station at a location in Santa Monica. However, the project stalled for a long time, apparently due to local regulations. Nevertheless, Tesla still moved forward with a supercharger at the location, but it had to move the diner project to Hollywood. Last year, Tesla filed the construction plans with the city, giving us the first look at what the automaker intends to build. We learned from the filing that it will be a semicircular 2-story diner with 29 supercharger stalls and 2 movie theater screens. After a year without much activity, Tesla has secured a building permit and has broken ground at the site. At the moment, there's no word on when the drive-in movie theater, diner, and charging station will open in West Hollywood.
Did you enjoy this lesson? Do you want me to make more lessons where we review news articles together? If you do, then put "I'm ready" in the comments. Put "I'm ready" in the comments so I know that you're ready for another lesson. And of course, make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And you can keep improving your English with this lesson right now.